This is Secrets to Win Big, your roadmap to sustained growth. Brought to you by Arjun Sen, founder and CEO of Zen Mango, top brand growth driver, and a former Fortune 500 executive who has been called one of the most marketing intelligent minds in the business. Find him at zenmango.com. And now, here's your host, Arjun Sen.
Welcome to Secrets to Win Big with Arjun Sen. Hi, this is Arjun. Winning is fun, and winning long-term creates the sustained path to big wins. And that's what I think is really cool. I have the best seat in the house in this podcast because I get a chance to talk to leaders from all walks of life all over the world. And today it's truly a pleasure and an honor to welcome my VIP guest, Vikrant Shaurya, who joined me from Pune, India. Vikrant is a man who has made his mark in the publishing world. He's the CEO and founder of BestsellingBook.com. The company offers personalized service to write, publish, and market your book. This appeals to entrepreneurs and business people in different industries, or I should say nearly every industry. And the proof of Vikrant's success is that he himself has authored the book, How to Write a Bestseller, Becoming a Bestseller Author, Attracting High-Value Clients, and Skyrocket Your Authority. Vikrant, welcome to Secrets to Win Big.
Thank you so much, Arjun, for having me here. Really excited for the show.
So Vikrant, I have to ask this question right off the bat. Okay. Before I got a chance to learn more about you, I just have this negative perception of at least in a given week, 3 to 5 people calling me. They don't even know how to pronounce my name. They just bad sales call about helping me write books. In a world where publishing world is changing, there's so much of so-called fake help. How did Vikrant find a niche to make this a successful business?
Sure. So Arjun, we need to understand this, that these kind of people are not only in the publishing industry. These are everywhere, in credit card industry, in marketing, in healthcare. Everywhere you go, you can find these people. So we need to understand, we need to find out whether they are the right people or not, they are genuine people or not. And of course, you can definitely see it just by seeing that whether the person can pronounce your first name or not. Right. So this is the first thing where you can notice that maybe the person hasn't done a proper research on you, or maybe not Googled that how to pronounce Arjun. So we need to understand that the first thing, these people are available everywhere. And you have to definitely make sure that you work with only those people like who have done it for themselves, who have done it for their clients, their proofs, right? And talking about our business, like, of course, it's completely on the first thing when someone land on our website, they see testimonials from our clients, like how they have used our services, how they found the value, what kind of impact it has done to their life in their business. So these kind of things like definitely changes. It can definitely help you or help anyone to understand whether the person is genuine or not, whether the company is genuine or not. Yep.
Love that. I absolutely love it. And what I love is the things that you mentioned is if I was a client, you made it about me, my value, and using the book to get to personal success, business success. So now, let's just brag a little shamelessly about your accomplishments, okay? Talk to me about one of the best moments you felt when you helped somebody publish a book and the person makes a call to you and the value you add. What is that one moment that you said, you know what, I'm so glad I could help this person?
So of course, in this business, there were several moments, right? But yeah, if I have to recall one moment, then 3 years ago, one person came to us. He was former CEO of Dexcom, which is a $40 billion company now. Now he has a company called Lysolin, which is where he offers a natural alternative to insulin to cure diabetes. And by that time, like 3 or 4 years ago, I used to think that writing a book or publishing a book can only help people who are in the information industry, right? Maybe who share coaching or courses, or maybe who are entrepreneurs, but also have some message or speak on stage or some podcast or YouTube channel, like something someone like who has a message. And by that time, I didn't know that writing a book can definitely help people who have physical product. And when Dr. John came to us, then we were not aware of it. But of course, he wanted to write a book which explained that how his product works exactly, how it naturally cures diabetes. And of course, within several months, like we were able to write the book for him in his voice, published the book, marketed the book, made it a bestseller in diabetes category. And the thing is, like after a few months, like of course, we discovered that like he was able to like use that book to get on so many different podcasts, so many different shows, so many, like he was also able to get on TV as well, and was able to like 3 times his business, like 3x his business. And it all started with writing and publishing a book. So of course, that was the moment like when I realized that if you're an author, then it can establish yourself as an authority in any given field, whether you are a person like who has a coaching or a consultation, or even if you have any product related business or a physical product, it can definitely help you. Like Brian Tracy said several years ago that if you want to have an authority, then you have to become an author, because in authority, the first letter is author.
I love that. In authority, the first few letters are author. I also love that you have an end game in mind that you are taking. In case of John, you are seeing how to keep his voice to write his book. It's not Vikrant writing the book in a cookie cutter way that everybody has the same 8-step process and it comes out in an odd voice where you hold the book by saying, is this the Arjun who wrote the book?
Mm-hmm.
So it's your authentic voice, your authentic expertise, your journey. And at the end, when you talked about the 3x part, it's very fascinating. It's really cool. So now let's go back a little bit about your journey. What made you think, how did this whole seed get planted in Vikrant's life that not only you want to write a book and others, but you want to help others be successful in life through the journey of writing a book?
Sure. So since the beginning, like everything started when I just graduated from the high school, and my dad asked me, hey son, what do you want to become in your life? At that time, like I was kind of a jolly person, not thinking that what I'll be doing and all these things. And he asked me, I never wanted to show him that I'm dumb and I haven't figured out that what I'll be doing in my life. I told him, like, just because all of my friends, they were doing engineering, I told him, okay, I'll be an engineer. And he sold a land and he got my admission in an engineering college because he thought, like, okay, the person, this kid is serious about his life. So let's got his admission in an engineering college. And he did it. I was liking it. I was making some new friends. Of course, I was not liking the classes. I was not liking the theoretical classes. Even in the practical classes, everything was extremely theory. And then I realized that one thing which I figured out at that time, I still didn't have idea that what I'll be doing in my life, but I had one clarity that engineering is not for me. I'll not be an engineer, but I was still looking for some answer. And in my 3rd semester of my college, I went to the library. I found this book by Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And when I completed the book, the very same day, of course, I dropped out of the college because it gave me a different perception about finance, about life. And I got to know that, okay, I'll be doing something of my own. I'll be an entrepreneur. And I dropped out. I started a business by taking loan from my friends, families, seniors, and everything. And it failed. I had no clue, no idea how to run a business. I had several different employees and I was just paying them money. And of course, I didn't have no idea how to run a business. So of course, I had to shut it down. At the age of 18, I was in a financial debt of around $5,000. And this was the situation where I was now living in a single room apartment with a broken laptop and a 2G internet speed, searching online that how to make money online with zero investment because I had no money at all. And then I found about self-publishing. I had nothing to do at that moment because I really had to pay the bill. I really had to pay the rent. So I started writing a book under my pen name, right? Within 21 days, I was able to complete that book with my badly English writing skills. Back then, my girlfriend was really great at academics. So she the proofreading. She fixed the grammar, and somehow I was able to publish the book. Now she's my wife. Then basically when I published the book, the first month I made around $27. And I still remember that in night, like when I saw that royalty, I was jumping on my bed because that was the first money I made online. And I was seeing something. I was having some clarity that what I can do. Then I published another book next month. And this month I also did some marketing, made around $440. Now I was seeing things that, okay, this is how it can work. And some of my friends, they started reaching out to me that, hey, can you please help me out? I started helping them for free. Then some of my Facebook friends, like who are entrepreneur, started reaching out to me as well. I added a coaching fees as well. So then the journey started I started helping people, right? In how to write and publish the book. Things again started changing, right? Of course, at this point, I have created several courses, several ebooks, several coaching as well, helped several students, help thousands of people write and publish their book. There were so many people, especially entrepreneurs or experts, who reached out to me that, hey, Vikrant, this is good. Your coaching is fine, but we don't have the time to write this book. Can you please do it for us? Then I got this idea about this done for you book writing thing. Right, done for you book writing, publishing, marketing thing, where I got to know that there are so many people, especially on the top 1%, who have really done something in their life, but now really want to share their message, but don't have the time. Then I created this done for you book writing, publishing, marketing services, assembled a team of writers, editors, publishers, designers, and then was able to start offering these services to people. And of course, now the company is also incorporated in states because almost all the clients are from states. Some are from UK, Canada, Australia. Some are from India as well. But yeah, most of them are from states. So this is how I started. And this is how I came here.
I love the journey. Of course, I have a follow-up question. Mm-hmm. The follow-up question is, third semester, you quit after your dad had sold a land to get you into engineering college. What was the conversation with your dad like that day?
It was tough. I didn't have the courage to share or tell him about the dropping out for 6 months. Of course, I was living in another city. Mm-hmm. Every day he used to call me, hey, son, how was your college? And every day I used to hate lying to my dad that it was good. It was really difficult. And then I went back to my dad. And when I decided that I have to just tell my dad that I've dropped out, he's in army. He's a really tough guy. Had never seen him crying. When I told him, I saw him crying for the very first time. It was really difficult, really painful. And because, of course, my dad thought that I'll be an engineer. And now his son is doing nothing, dropped out, wasted his money. It was tough. It was really tough. He was not at all convinced. But he was really very much concerned about whether I'll be doing something good or not. For an example, when I mentioned that I'll be having an online business or something, that time he used to feel like online business are completely scam. Mm-hmm. Nowadays as well, people in India and somewhere they think that making money online is completely scam and you're gonna go to prison if you'll be doing it. So it was tough convincing him. But now he's really happy, really proud.
Now, how does he feel about his son creating a business which helps people around the world share their thoughts?
Now he has started his own business as well.
Wow.
Just by seeing my journey, he and my sister has started a company. It's all about spoken English and all these things. They have a business established. So yeah, just because of me now he always whenever he talks to people, he say hey, don't become an engineer. You should become an entrepreneur. You should do business. So his perception has completely changed because of me, and he's really happy now.
And I think that's the part where you are much younger than me. I have a daughter; she's 27, and sometimes what happens is the word generation gap is used lightly, and especially in today's world, it's multi-generation gap between a father and a daughter and a father and a son. And I'm so proud of him and you for him to open up, you having the courage to be who you are. And together you guys have made a better world. Of course, the
Thank
other
you.
person I need to talk about is your girlfriend. Now she's your wife. And that is, tell me a little bit about that story, about her role. And let's give a little shout out to the person who really has been instrumental in getting you through and make a big success.
Sure. She is my biggest inspiration. She was the only one who stood by me when no one believed me. When I dropped out of the college, my dad, my mom, my friends, they were not talking to me for several months. It was tough. It was really, really tough. I totally understand their point of view as well. They were very much concerned about me. But she was the only one, like we are together since childhood. I saw her first time when I was in 8th standard. I was 14. And of course, thing is like I was completely broke. And of course, you know that like when she turned 19 or 20, her dad started looking for a groom. And it was tough. I really didn't want to lose her. Somehow she convinced them to meet me. So their family, like they're good. Like they were a really reputed family. They had cars and everything. We were having. I was living in a single room apartment, and there was a ceiling in every room. So it was kind of a really messy when they came to visit us, and it was a really tough conversation. It was really difficult. Like they went back. They mentioned like, you are not going to marry that guy. He's not right fit for you. You should just not marry. It took me around 4.5 years to convince her family. Then he again, when they came back, at that time, like, of course, my business started growing. Then somehow I convinced them. And 3 years ago, like we got married, and it's really beautiful.
I love that. I love the story. And what I really love is both of you went through the tough times together.
Yeah.
And that shows the strength of the connection turning into a relationship.
Yeah.
There are two things I want to share personally is when I went through my engineering, I did my engineering IIT Kharagpur Aeronautical. Amazing
Awesome.
University.
Mm-hmm.
During my third year,
Mm-hmm.
I was supposed to do a project. And again, it's not the faculty, it was me, where you take a payload and you're supposed to take it from one place to another, for which you work with different faculty members. And I got good grades on each one of the areas of aerodynamics and structures and everything else. I thought getting good grades in the pieces means I'm done. Then when I put everything together, I had a 0.6 mile aircraft. And of course, I thought either I should win the Nobel Prize or the biggest idiot prize. Okay, it was the biggest idiot. But what was very important for me was to understand that whether it's engineering or anything else I do, I needed to see what I do, how it connects to the bigger picture.
Mm.
And that was the big aha for me. And I really feel if I had half your guts and courage, and I'm listening to you, I wish I could quit that day because, in life, I just find there are 3 steps. Till you quit, you cannot see the bigger opportunities.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then when you see the bigger opportunity, that's the time, just like you met your girlfriend, your wife, you say, search stops here. With her, she looked at you and said, search stops here with Vikrant. And then you build, same thing with your career. So I really think that the I quit and the search stops here are very, very important. So now this next part is a little confession time and I need help from you. I have written 2 books, but for the last 2 years, I am procrastinating in a polite way of saying with a book called Customer Feelings. And I feel I'm not alone. Like so many of us think of a book, but somehow we don't see what the first step is. We don't see the next whole set of steps to finish the book. So what is your advice to Arjun and others who have a book plan? But like really, if you ask, in the middle of the night, if you called me as my friend and said, Arjun, what is it that keeps you up at night? This book worries me because I have not done it. What's your advice?
So the number one reason like why people procrastinate is they're really not sure that what are the things they have to do in order to publish, market, or maybe if it's in the early stage, then how to write the book. And subconsciously, they know that there are so many steps involved. For example, if they're just starting out, they have to first of all come up with a book idea, then they have to create a book outline, then they have to create a title, then subtitle, and then also write a manuscript. And somehow, like if they'll be complete the manuscript, which takes so much time, then they have to do the editing, proofreading. And once it is done, then this is the beginning, right? Like you have to design the cover, do the interior designing, maybe assign an ISBN number, publish the book. And then once the publishing is, you are done, then also like you have to take care of the marketing, like getting sales, getting reviews, and getting some PR, so these kind of things, like subconsciously they know that there are so many things involved, due to which they always procrastinate. So first of all, like we need to understand that if we will have a proper step-by-step plan, step-by-step action plan, or maybe a checklist, it is going to solve most of the problem, right? So for an example, if you even in the business as well, like we have so many business ideas, but we always start with a business plan, right? So why don't we start with a book plan or a book launch plan or a book writing plan since the beginning? Because we don't know that whether this thing exists or not. So to solve this issue or the problem, what I have done is I have created a checklist, right? Where I have all the things, right, which you need, from the book idea or to writing, editing, cover designing, publishing, marketing, making it a bestseller. Everything I have laid down step by step, right? So there are 3 phases: produce, publish, profit. And every phase has 3 steps, and every step has 5 sub-steps.
Publish, profit.
Yeah, produce phase is all about producing the manuscript, right? Which comes with, first of all, finalizing your idea, then book outline, then once it is done, then writing the actual book, then editing, proofreading. Then comes the publish phase, which is all about preparing the book for publishing or distribution, which is, first of all, you have to get an ISBN number, do a description, design a cover, interiors, and publish the book, all these things. Then comes the profit phase, which is all about marketing, sales, reviews. So yeah, these are the 3 phases. And I have created a checklist which has all these step-by-step things over there laid out in a synchronized way, right? For example, and of course, for your audience, what I have done is they can visit to bestsellingbook.com/checklist, and they can download this checklist. They can print it out. They can paste it on their wall. And then if they will start writing the book, then it's going to be way easier because they know the actual plan. At the same time, with that checklist, I've also added a blueprint which explains how to use this checklist, right? Like it's a 25 pages blueprint which explains how to use this checklist. So yeah, this thing, having a clarity.
What's the URL one more time, please?
Sure. So it is bestsellingbook.com/checklist.
Very simple. Okay. Got it.
So yeah, this is like, once they have this clear plan, then it's going to be easy. For example, in your case, if your book is already ready, right? Maybe if you have written it. Now, the next step is you need to understand, maybe you have to design the book cover, or maybe have an ISBN number, do the ebook formatting, paperback interior designing, then publishing the book, then marketing the book. Each and everything, like there is in a synchronized way, so that it's going to be helpful for you. It's going to be helpful for anyone who wants to write, publish, and market their book.
I love that. So take me through the 3 Ps one more time. First, produce, publish, profit.
Profit, yes.
So let's talk into the profit phase, because most of us feel the produce part is me taking a laptop and writing it. But that is just the beginning. It's the publishing to make it classy and worthy to be connected to the Arjun brand is very important. I'm fascinated by the next phase. I'm fascinated by the profit. Most of us don't even look at. We feel the moment I have my book, I'm holding it, that's done. It's not. So what does Vikrant do to be successful, to make me successful in the profit phase?
So first of all, we need to understand that profit phase is all about marketing, doing the promotion, maybe PR thing. At the same time, it's also about monetization. So there are certain whys, that like why, the reasons like why people write the book. For example, some people want to write the book just to establish their brand or build their personal brand, establish themselves as an authority. Some people write the book to get more clients, raise reputation. Some people write the book to get coaching clients, or maybe also sell their products, physical products as well. Some people write the book to get speaking gigs, or maybe sell their video courses. So whatever it is, we have to always start with the why, right? And that's why, like in the book, in the produce phase, like the first step is the book idea. The second step is why you are writing this book. Because if you don't know, if you are not clear on why you are writing this book, then it's going to be a difficult journey for you. So for example, like if your goal is to build your brand, build your personal brand, then maybe you will write a book so that you will be sharing your stories, you will be sharing what was your journey so that people can connect to you. Mm-hmm. If your goal is to maybe generate leads, then maybe inside the book, you can offer something to them for free in exchange of their email address, right? So once, if you understand that what is your why, then you have to write the book, right? So of course, even though profit comes after produce or publish, but still you have to keep the end in mind before starting. So you have to have the profit thing in the first section or the first phase of your publishing journey. So now understanding that, how does the profit phase work? So it depends on what your goal. So if your goal is to maybe become an international bestseller on Amazon, then it is simple. If your goal is to become a bestseller on Wall Street Journal or USA Today, that's also possible. If your goal is to become a New York Times bestseller, then that's a different thing. So to becoming an Amazon bestseller, like we need to understand there are some tools out there like Publisher Rocket, which can help you identify that what are in your category on Amazon, what are the number one book, how many sales the number one book is getting every day. So for example, if you figure out that maybe if you have written a book about entrepreneurship and you find out that in your category, the number one book is getting around maybe 500 sales in a day. So for you to become a number one bestseller in that category, you have to get more than 500 sales in a day, right? So that's a goal. That's what we do for our clients. Like once we identify that, okay, these are the sales we have to make, we use Amazon ads, we use BookBub ads. We also reach out to influencers and people who have followers or subscribers, and we pay them money to promote the book so that we can get those certain number of sales and get the reviews. So this is the one thing, right? There are so many different techniques like Amazon ads, BookBub ads also works really well. Then there are Facebook ads. Then the next step is getting reviews. You can reach out to Amazon top reviewers. You can also reach out to those people like who have reviewed your competition books, right? So you have to get at least 10 or 15 reviews so that your book look credible on Amazon. And then of course you can also do the PR thing. You can reach out to some press and media, and you can also like use the book to monetize the book, to get more clients, to sell more video courses, generate leads. So yeah, like in marketing, like it's not just one thing. There are so many different things which you have to do in order to do the proper marketing and positioning of the book.
So now, as I'm listening to the whole thing, of course, I have very specific few questions. One, from an idea to finish, how long does it take? Second, how much time or week do I have to commit to it? And number three, ballpark. How much do you have to budget in a range without which this process doesn't work? So number one is how much, start to finish time, how much do I commit to? And then a ballpark budget, how much does it take to make the whole thing?
Sure. See, I'll be talking about like if you work with us or if you do it yourself. So the first is like how much time it takes. So if you work with us, then usually like we turn the book idea written in your words with your personality and turn it into a best-selling book within 6 to 8 months. Now, if you will be doing it, it depends completely on your schedule. Maybe sometimes you write the book, sometimes you don't write the book. Sometimes it's also about like finding the editor, cover designer, interior designer as well. Like there's so many different things. So this is the thing, like it can take some time.
6 to 8 months, ballpark. And
yeah,
with moderate, like maybe 3 to 5 hours a week of my time. Mm-hmm. Now let's talk about the budget. How much money should I budget for a process like this?
So if you really need to create a professional looking book, and if you have already written the book, right? If the book is written, then you have to have around $5,000 to $10,000, depending on who are the professional you are working with. For example, if your book is written, and there are several different types of editors, several different types of proofreaders. There are some editors like who are at the top level, who really creates amazing editing. There are some editors like who are just starting out. So of course you can, depending on your budget, like you can have the editor or proofreader from there. You can also get the book cover designer, right? Somewhere from like, there are so many freelancing sites, right? So you can get from there. So depending on exactly,
like the whole process, like from idea to end, how much is a ballpark budget working with, let's say, Vikrant,
yeah, okay. So it's going to be around $30,000.
somewhere in that range, and eight
Yeah.
months somewhere in that, and you
Yes.
focus on all three P's with the profit.
Everything. Like we do everything done for you.
So now let's go back and look at Vikrant, who was in an apartment with everything broken down, believing in himself. Now he is the CEO of a company. How has that experience and your journey made you the coolest CEO you have or you can be?
So first of all, I'm not sure whether I'm the coolest CEO or not. And also like talking about the journey was really beautiful. It was challenging. So every day there was some new things which I learned. Every new clients I've worked with, I have learned something new. Every new people I have worked with. For example, when I'm talking to you, the types of questions which you're asking, I'm really liking the way you think, right? How you have everything in a conversational way. So it would have not be possible if I would have dropped out of the college and created a business. You would have never invited me to be as a guest on this show. So talking to intelligent people like you and working with intelligent people like clients, like who have done something and now wanted to share something in the form of a book was a really beautiful journey. Although I have learned a lot, I have made so many mistakes. I've tried to learn from those mistakes as well. So yeah, journey was amazing. It was sometime, like most of the time it was uncertain. I never used to know that whether I'll be, especially in the initial time, whether I'd be able to pay my rents, pay my bills or not. So it was challenging, but fruitful.
I love your positivity because to me, I really think that, slightly older than you quite a lot. I find the biggest certainty in life is uncertainty. Whether you're playing cricket or anything, everything you practice, once you're on the field, a situation for which you are not prepared will come in. But rest of your preparedness will give you the confidence to move forward through that uncertainty. So now, with all your wisdom, if Vikrant could go back to the day your dad is getting ready to take a little loan for you, what advice would you give that young Vikrant that day? One piece of advice.
See, of course, that honestly speaking, Arjun, I really don't want to change anything from my past. From everything, I've learned so many things, right? Especially that part as well, like where I told my dad that, okay, I'll be doing an engineering college. I learned from that mistake as well, where I got to know that if I would have not done that thing at that point of time, then I would have never got to know or learned that I really don't have to look someone else to do what I'll be doing in my life. I really have to ask myself. I really have to understand that what are my skills, what are my passion, and then follow them. Because everyone in my circle, they were taking admission in engineering college. That's why I just told my dad, okay, I'll become an engineer. And of course, although it was a kind of a financial loss for my dad, but now, of course, I've tried to recoup that. Like I have built a home for him. So he's happy. But yeah, for everything which I have done, I have learned something. But if you would say that what kind of advice I would give to that Vikrant, then I would say that never look for someone else for exactly what you will be doing in your life. Some of my family members, some of my friends were also not suggesting me to marry this girl, right? Her parents were also suggesting her that not to marry this guy. But we finally got married. Both of our family are happy. It was a really big wedding. And of course, things are good, right? So
what's her name? You have talked about her so many times. You have to talk about her name. So she has a name.
yeah, sure. Her name is Rimpi. Yep.
Rimpi, an amazing married life together. Now,
thank you so much, Arjun.
Because you said really hit home. I live by 3 or 4 principles in life, and one of my core principles are no regrets. Okay, and to me, you really hit on the positivity of accepting everything in the past, the lessons, because I really feel it's totally okay to look back to yesterday and say, what can I learn to do better today? But I really also think it's very important for Arjun to have respect for Arjun of yesterday, because Arjun of yesterday did the best he could in a situation. And I should applaud that.
Yeah.
And that no regret living that is really, really cool. And I love that, the way you are demonstrating that. Now let's look at the year is 2030. We are moving forward and, superstar, rock star Vikrant comes to Arjun, and I'm like very fortunate to have you on my show. What would Vikrant in 2030, the brand, look like?
Our number one goal for maybe in 10 years. So initially, we have the capability to help our clients become bestseller on Amazon, on Wall Street Journal, and USA Today. And we have helped several clients doing that. In 2030, we'll also have the capability to produce New York Times bestsellers as well. So also want to let you know that on Amazon, on USA Today, on Wall Street Journal, like they also select self-published book, and we are a hybrid publisher, like where we do self-publishing for our clients. But New York Times only select traditional publishing companies, and they have to get around 16,000 to 20,000 sales in a week in order to get that kind of thing. So we really need to be into that league, like a kind of a premium league, working with C-suites, people like the top 500, right? So this is a dream, like working with people who are 0.01%, like who are on the really top. So this is what my goals are. This is my team goal are as well for the company.
Love that. And I wish you the very best. Is there anything else that we haven't talked about, Vikrant, that you want to share with our audience?
One thing which I really want to share is, of course, working in the publishing space was really fulfilling. The number one reason was I got to know that working with clients, like I was not only helping my clients, I was also helping the readers who were reading those books. And that was really fulfilling. Like whenever the clients reach out to me that, okay, I have received this thank you email from my reader. And when they share it with me, when they are delighted, when they're happy with it, then I also become happy. My team also become happy with that. So, yep, of course, after some point, like it's not only about money. I know that initially I started, and I think most of the entrepreneurs, they start their journey to make money. But in the journey, like you discover your passion, you discover that what are the things which you can do to really transform the lives for better. And I'm glad that I'm trying to transform the lives. I'm trying to change the lives one book at a time.
Love that. Trying to change the lives of people one book at a time. Vikrant Shaurya, that's such a beautiful way to finish the conversation. I truly thank you from the bottom of my heart for leaving me with a lot of inspiration, a lot of great nuggets, but more importantly, giving me very clear next steps and final vision of profit/success on my terms that will make me jump forward with my book.
Amazing.
Thank you again.
Thank you so much, Arjun.
Thank you all listening to this fascinating conversation. I have to confess, this conversation went totally unplanned. I had a script, and the moment I started realizing that Vikrant is sharing from his heart, and it's a very sincere sharing about his journey, I really wanted to see where the conversation goes and learn about the authenticity of Vikrant Shaurya, the man behind everything, because I strongly believe, we are all in the feeling business, which means if we can't feel good about a person, if we can't trust a person, it's very tough to work with that person. So it's a fascinating conversation, totally went on a path which wowed me. Thank you again. Thank you all for listening, and looking forward to bringing you another conversation with another leader from another walk of life. But this one will be tough to beat. Thank you and happy listening.
You've been listening to Secrets to Win Big with Arjun Sen, founder and CEO of Zen Mango, top brand growth driver, and a former Fortune 500 executive who has been called one of the most marketing intelligent minds in the business. To learn more, visit www.zenmango.com. Share this podcast with your friends and subscribe wherever you like to listen to podcasts.